Myanmar military staged a coup in the early hours of February 1 and detained de facto leader Aung San Suu Kyi. A 10-year experiment with the democratic system came to a halt after the coup. Times of India spoke to former Foreign Secretary Kanwal Sibal on the impact of the military coup on India's relations with Myanmar.
Strategically, Myanmar is absolutely key to our Act East policy. Act East policy in terms of connectivity simply cannot take off if Myanmar is not in the game. In fact, Bangladesh could have been the starting point, but Bangladesh always stood in the way. And therefore, Myanmar became that much more important. But if Myanmar also falls out, then we cannot really have any connectivity projects worth the name. So that is one. Secondly, the China factor. China will try to make the most of this situation. According to reports, the military government is not entirely happy, or the Myanmar military is not entirely happy with China because of Chinese support to insurgencies in the north. And Aung San Suu Kyi was received by President Xi Jinping a couple of years ago with great fanfare. And I believe the military may have felt that with Aung San Suu Kyi strengthening her bilateral ties with China, China may lessen its backing for the armed forces, and that may affect their role in governance of the country. In other words, the scales will be weighed more in favor of the civilian the democratic government than the military. So the China factor is important in the sense that if the West imposes sanctions as they threaten to do, then the armed forces, the new military government will be forced into the hands of China more and more. And China, as you know, has taken a very hands-off position, which is not good for us. As it is, we are worried about the China-Myanmar corridor to the Bay of Bengal and some of the projects that they are building there. And if more Chinese influence gains ground in Myanmar, we will be all the more encircled by China politically and strategically. In the case of Myanmar, especially because of Aung San Suu Kyi's past and her relationship with India, she was educated here. There's a soft corner for her. And therefore, there is a bit of a pressure on us to stand up for democracy. And this pressure will increase in the UN Security Council because America and the West want to impose sanctions on Myanmar, and we will then have to take a position. So, all in all, it's a bad development for us, but I think we should handle it pragmatically. The statement that the Ministry of External Affairs has made, to my mind, is just about right. We have expressed our concern. So I think we should leave it at that and continue as before and deal with the military junta as we've done in the past. And if and when occasion arises, as friends, advise them that it is in their larger interest to resolve this issue within Myanmar through internal negotiations, so that Myanmar's international profile doesn't get damaged and makes cooperation with Myanmar more difficult for everybody, though India will continue to cooperate with Myanmar. In other words, focus essentially on our core national interest and play some sort of a balancing game, and certainly not join any Western country in imposing any sanctions on Myanmar. The Myanmar military government has been quite active in combating these insurgencies. And therefore, if we continue our cooperation as before, they would have every reason to continue cooperating with us. So I don't see any change in that, and I don't think they're going to allow the Chinese to step up support to insurgencies in India from the southern part. From the northern part, where in any case insurgencies are not fully in control of the Myanmar government, and China through Yunnan plays mischief, those kind of issues are there because that area is not under the control of the Myanmar military in any case because of the ethnic conflict in the country. So no, I don't see any any fresh problem arising with regard to change in government in Myanmar currently. Problem between the armed forces and the civilian, civilian politics is long-standing in Myanmar. It's nothing new. It just is that in 2010, the armed forces, because of sanctions and everything else, decided to open up, and they did. Though, of course, as I said, in a way that they continue to play a very vital role in governing the country and detracting from full democratic governance. But it was a kind of a via media which was working well. And now, because of the factors that I mentioned, that balance has been upset. And the army has taken over direct rule, though he has announced that within 1 year they will restore democracy. They have declared emergency for 1 year. But we know from the past that once the army takes over, it's not so easy to restore democracy. And if the quarrel is with Aung San Suu Kyi, because of this coup d'etat, in fact, her popularity will increase. And if next time elections are held, she will win even more, perhaps. Very likely she will. So therefore, that problem is will not be solved by the military coup. It's an unfortunate reversal of the political situation in Myanmar from all points of view, but it is dictated by domestic developments. And I don't think China has a hand in it, though China may try to maximize its benefit from it.